My name is Izu. I'm 28 years old. And the day my parents chose their reputation over my life was the day they unknowingly created the woman who would expose them. You see, I wasn't disowned. That would have hurt less. I was sacrificed. And tonight, I'm finally telling my story. Growing up, people called us the ideal family. My father was respected. My mother was admired. Our home was always clean, our smiles always ready. But what people never saw was that our house was a stage. And I was just a prop. From the age of 10, I learned one rule. What will people say? That sentence controlled everything. When I wanted to join art class. What will people say? When I wanted to study journalism. What will people say? When I spoke too loudly. What will people say? I was raised to protect a reputation, not to build a life. The night everything changed. At 19, I received a scholarship to study media abroad. It was my dream. I remember holding that acceptance letter, hands shaking, heart racing. For the first time, I felt seen. But when I told my parents, my father didn't congratulate me. He asked, "Who else knows?" My mother said, "We already promised your marriage." Marriage? To a man 12 years older. A business deal disguised as destiny. I laughed at first. I thought it was a joke. It wasn't. They had already told relatives. Invitations were being discussed. My future had been negotiated, without me. I refused. For the first time in my life, I said no. That's when I saw a different side of my parents. Not caring. Not protective. Threatened. My father said, "If you embarrass us, you will no longer be our daughter." My mother cried, not because I was hurting, but because relatives might gossip. They didn't fear losing me. They feared losing face. That night, I packed a small bag. I thought they would stop me. They didn't. My father said one sentence that still echoes in my head. "If you leave, don't come back." So I left. Freedom isn't romantic. It's cold. It's scary. And it's lonely. I worked 3 jobs. I lived in a tiny apartment with peeling paint. There were nights I cried quietly because I missed my mother. Even though she had chosen silence over me. But I never went back. Because going back meant surrendering. And I had already been sold once. 2 years later, I discovered something shocking. Relatives began blocking me. Old friends stopped replying. Then I found out why. My parents had told everyone I ran away with a man. They said I brought shame. They said I was out of control. They erased the truth and rewrote my character. And people believed them. That hurt more than being disowned. Because they didn't just abandon me. They assassinated my name. That's when I made a decision. I wouldn't argue. I wouldn't defend myself publicly. I would build. Silently. I finished my degree. I started a small digital storytelling platform. I told stories about women forced into silence. Women traded for reputation. Women erased by their own families. My audience grew. Thousands. Then hundreds of thousands. Ironically, my parents began seeing my face everywhere. 5 years later, I was invited to speak at a major social justice conference in my hometown. The same city that whispered about me. The same city that believed I ran away. I almost declined. But then I realized. This wasn't coincidence. This was closure knocking. So I accepted. 59672. The auditorium was full. Media present. Local leaders seated in front. And there they were. My parents. Older. Nervous. I saw it in my father's eyes. Fear. Not fear for me. Fear of exposure. When I stepped on stage, my hands were steady. I began. My name is Izu. 5 years ago, I was told I was a disgrace for choosing education over marriage. The room shifted. I continued. I was not kidnapped. I was not influenced by a man. I was not immoral. Silence. My only crime was wanting control over my own future. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I spoke calmly. With facts. And truth is powerful when it's not emotional, it's clear. I described the forced engagement. The threats. The lies. I never insulted my parents. I simply told the truth. And sometimes truth is louder than revenge. The audience reacted strongly. Women cried. Men looked uncomfortable. Reporters started typing furiously. After the speech, journalists approached my parents. They asked questions. Hard ones. For the first time. They couldn't hide behind reputation. Because I had built my own. And it was stronger. Later that evening, my mother approached me. She looked smaller than I remembered. She whispered, "You embarrassed us." I smiled gently. "No," I said. I corrected the story. My father didn't apologize. But he said something that shocked me. "You didn't fail." That was the closest he could come to pride. People expected me to destroy them publicly. But justice isn't humiliation. Justice is balance. They tried to erase me. Instead, I became visible. They tried to control my future. Instead, I built one. They chose reputation over daughter. The world chose my truth. And that is justice. Months later, something unexpected happened. Young girls in my hometown started applying for scholarships. Parents began allowing daughters to study. People referenced my speech in discussions. Change doesn't scream. It echoes. And the biggest victory. I no longer hated my parents. Because I realized something. They were prisoners too. Prisoners of what will people say. I broke that prison. Not just for me. But for others. If you're watching this and you feel trapped between family and freedom, remember this. Respect is important. But self-respect is survival. You can love your parents without surrendering your destiny. My name is Izu. I was once the daughter who brought shame. Today, I am the woman who brought truth. And truth always wins.